That's a very good question. This book, which I'm offering free tonight if you buy a set of my books, is Guilt by Association. This is the McCain book. And this was written in Arizona by Jeff Gates, who was the former Senate legal counsel for the Senate Finance Committee, so he was an insider. And he wrote this book with the help of the illegitimate son of Nelson Rockefeller, who's named James Mel Rockefeller. They wrote this book because this Mel Rockefeller has a lot of insight in how this stuff all works. And they wrote this book about McCain. And McCain is part of what they call this transgenerational criminal syndicate. He is basically the Zionist war agenda's main cheerleader in Congress, if you will, along with his little gay friend from South Carolina.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham. And Menendez was also in there. Menendez is now, of course, in trouble. Menendez is in big trouble because he's been caught with some sort of money problems or whatever. Oh yeah. But the thing is that McCain visited Aleppo, Syria in May 2013. And he met with the heads of the militia who were fighting the government of Syria, right? The Damascus regime. So he went to Aleppo and sat down with these rebels in a room, like this. And he's talking to one man just like you and I are talking here. And that man sitting there is all dressed in black. And a couple months ago, Terry Masson in Damascus said, this man that he's talking to is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, the caliph, if you will, of Islamic State, the guy who's running the whole thing. And at the time that John McCain was speaking to him, there was a $10.5 million bounty on his head from the U.S. State Department. So when I read that Terry Masson, who I know, who's usually correct on these kinds of things, identified this man as being the Caliph of Baghdad, I contacted McCain's office immediately. And I said, you know, Terry Masson says that John McCain is here speaking to al-Baghdadi. Can you identify the name of this man that John McCain is speaking to in this photograph? I said, if you can't, I would have to assume that that my friend Terry Masson is correct. They wrote back and said, all we can tell you is that he is a fighter from al-Nusra Front. So John McCain goes to Aleppo, sits down in a room and talks to people he doesn't even know. No, he knows who they are. And he knows that is the Caliph of Iraq, Islamic State. The reason he can't identify that person's name is because there was an arrest warrant for his head for $10.5 million by the State Department. So he was talking in Syria with the man who the State Department had an arrest warrant for. You see what I'm saying? That's why they couldn't identify him. And I put pictures on my website, very good pictures to show. There's a new picture that was released by CBS News about a week ago, that this is probably the same man. The image, the hairline, everything fits.